get started. I know we're all busy. I'm not sure who that is, Mo, but the Committee on Rules and Administration will come to order. A quorum is present. Members, we don't have a lot to address today, but there are two items that we want to talk about. The first one is the Committee Resolution 13 SS5-1. It relates to an employee communication and technology stipend. And I'll just read a paragraph we put together. The Minnesota Senate is requesting that the administration through the LCRC, Legislative COVID Response Commission, submit to the LAC, the Legislative Advisory Commission, a request for funds from the COVID-19 Minnesota Fund to cover a communication and technology stipend for Senate employees. Our Senate employees have been asked to telework and have covered expenses from internet access, hardware needs, office supplies, and so on. In some cases, even upgrading existing access and equipment. And so because of that, we just want to make sure that we request resources for them. Our request is to cover the cost of paying a stipend to employees going back to April 1st and extending future stipend payments through December 31st, 2020. The LCC is submitting a request similar to ours based on their number of employees, and the House already submitted a request from April to June that was approved. So I believe they'll also be submitting a request through the end of December 31st. So that's what we're doing. We just feel like that is good use of the CARES Act money, and that's why I want to bring it before you. And members, are there any questions about this? And I'll look for hands. I see Senator Rest, your hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The way in which the stipend for each employee would be determined is how?
Secretary Ludeman, I'm going to have you address that. I asked you to help put this together.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Senators. Senator Rest, that this is simply starting from April 1st for those employed from April 1st to today would be getting that $100 a month stipend. For those, there are several employees who have come on board since April 1st, and so that would be a prorated stipend from the point of their hire to work for the Senate. I don't know if that's, so there is a proration of a few employees of the stipend. Otherwise, it would be assumed that we would find a way to pay them all the way from April 1st to the end of December.
Chairman, follow up?
Senator Rest, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Mr. Ludeman, so $100 a month as a stipend, but it will not be vouchered. Is that correct? So that an employee does not have to, like some members do with communication expenses, you can either take the stipend and, or whatever you want to call it, and it counts in your income, or you can submit a voucher for reimbursement, and it's reimbursement of expenses, and it is not considered income. So how is this one going to be handled? Secretary. I have my preference, but what is your recommendation? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman and Senator Rest, that's a great question. This is a stipend, so it is not a receivable expense reimbursement. It's a stipend, so it is a taxable event. And that is simply the ease and calculation and the payment of the $100 a month. And it is consistent with the way the LCC and some state agencies are also doing the stipend.
Mr. Chairman, I think that, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that is, for now, at least the better way to operate, because we're also looking at retroactivity, and if we expected employees to go back and look at their receipts for the last 5 months, I think that would be a burden that we do not want to put on them, and it's better to go ahead and consider it just a flat $100 a month toward their expenses. In a sense, their communication expenses. I look at it as a I need to let you see me. I look at it as a similar approach. And, but in this instance, it will not be a choice. We will just say, we recognize the extra work and the use of their technology at home and wherever, and that this is the way we're going to do it. And I think they will, I've heard from a few, and they appreciate the consideration.
Yeah, and I've got, eventually we get to Senator Benson and Senator, but that's exactly right. And it also is parity with the House and what others are doing. We just felt like it was appropriate for the Senate to make this request as well. Senator Benson and then Senator Pappas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe we need to amend the resolution. The fund that we're taking this from is the Coronavirus Relief Fund, and those funds, the expenses have to be incurred by December 30th, and our resolution puts us through December 31st, so just to save any concerns from MMB. If I could ask Mr. Bodern to direct me properly to an amendment, I believe it's page 1, line 14, to strike 31 and insert 30.
Mr. Bodern, can you make a comment to that, and then we'll take that oral amendment as a vote.
Mr. Chair, this is Eric Nauman. I don't believe Mr. Bodden's online. Lexi Stengel is serving as counsel to the committee.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Boddern is away today, so I'm filling in for him. So the appropriate line is page 1, line 11. You would delete 31 and insert 30. So that would mean, so then it would read through December 30th, 2020.
So Senator Benson moves the oral amendment that we change the 31st to the 30th as council has directed. Any more discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That motion is adopted. So now we have the amended version before us, and Senator Pappas.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. I missed another one of the changes. There should be another amendment on page 1, line 14. 31 should also be changed to 30. I apologize for that.
I do see that, and just to cover that, members all in favor of that amended amendment say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, that is officially adopted. So thank you for that catch. Senator Pappas.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ludeman, how do you intend to make these payments? Are you doing like one back payment and then you'll be doing monthly payments, or are you going to do something the end of the year? How's that going to work?
Secretary Ludeman.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Pappas, online with us also is our Senate Controller, Betty Myers. We talked about this yesterday. We'll probably do a catch-up lump sum payment for the period of time from April 1st to the current payroll, and then probably do a $50 stipend payment per payroll from this point to the end of December.
Oh, wait, I thought it was,
Senator
I thought it was $100.
I'm sorry, what did I say? That's what I meant.
said
It's $100 per month.
Per month. Oh, $50 per
but a
pay
payroll is
period.
every 2 weeks. Yes.
I
yes.
got you. All right, sorry, thanks. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I don't see any other questions. I'll just look one more time. Okay, well, this is good. And I'm going to have Senator Benson is going to make the motion. The reason being, I want to make sure that people are aware that she brought this to my attention and said, we really need to do this. And Senator Benson, I thank you for speaking up for this, all of the staff of the Senate. And so with that, Senator Benson makes the motion to adopt the committee resolution 13 SS5-1 as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion as amended is adopted, or committee
Mr.
resolution.
Chair,
Senator Benson,
do we have any other business before us?
just, we're gonna, yes, we have one more thing, if I can do that first.
Please.
Yeah, we've got a review of the Senate budget from Secretary Ludeman along with fiscal and other staff, just to give us an update. We don't need to vote on this, but I felt like it was a good timing for them to do that. So Secretary Ludeman and Ms. Myers and whoever else needs to update us, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This will be very brief and it will be verbal. So we're not going to give you a lot of specific numbers, but I'll have Senate Controller Betty Myers give you a very brief description of where our status is on our financial condition of the state Senate. Betty, you have to, there you go.
Thank you, Secretary Ludeman, Mr. Chairman, Senators. I would like to provide a general overview of where the Senate's finances stand for the fiscal year 2021. The appropriation is $35,654,000. We're at the end of the first quarter. So as a general benchmark, the expenses are expected to be around 25%. But typically, July through to September have lower costs as summer tends to be quieter for the legislature. Expenditures for 2021 are 7.5 million, which is 21% of the appropriation total. And the staff payroll expenditures versus budget is at 23%. The Senate carry forward currently is $9.9 million and contained. This gives a summary of the Senate finances. The quarterly report sent out on October 15th will give the specific line item details. Are there any questions?
I don't see any. Secretary Ludeman, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, Betty. Members, I just thought you should know, and Senator Gazelka and Senator Kent, you are well familiar with this, but there is one sort of an outstanding expenditure that doesn't show up on a budget sheet because it's from the carry forward, and that's nearly $300,000 expenditure to our IT server replacement. So our servers have extended the time of their serviceability. And so, but it is an expansion of our server capacity. It's putting it back into the MSB. But at this time, when we get done, this will be done before the start of the next session. We will have a fully redundant, Senator Benson, you and I have talked about this briefly too, but it'll be finally a fully redundant server capacity in the SOB server closet, we call it. It's bigger than a closet, but that will all be done. And you've already, the leaders have already signed off on that expenditure. But that's significant enough, I thought, to call out that is not on a line item within the budget.
No, I appreciate that. And that Senator Eric Pratt now has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Secretary Ludeman, you know, interesting you brought that up. Does that $300, is that any of that tied to the rebuilding of the Senate infrastructure, or is that completely separate and paid for already? Secretary
Ludeman.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that's a good question, Senator Pratt. No, it is separate from that. Most of that $300,000 expenditure is for hardware. The reconstruction of the Senate intranet website is mostly staff cost. There's actually no hardware cost to that. That is 3 programmers working feverishly to pull up 700 pages of internet with a brand new code that is consistent with the revisor's office and modernized, and so that it can be more successfully changed and used in the future. Our old code literally died on us and made us vulnerable to the hack that took place last June.
Senator Bach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ludeman, have there been any conversations with the Department of Administration about savings as far as janitorial staff and cleaning of the Senate building while it's basically, for the most part, not in use? And if this continues, there ought to be some pretty significant savings over the course of a legislative session, I would think, when we no longer have the days on the Hill and lobbyists and other people into the building. I realize they incurred some additional costs probably, and maybe March, April, but there should be some pretty significant savings in the months, probably June through, who knows when this all comes to some conclusion. But have we had any conversation with admin about that?
Secretary Ludeman.
Mr. Chairman and Senator Bach, it's interesting you brought that up. I've been just informed. Ms. Myers just told me that the Department of Administration is willing to renegotiate or re-talk about the lease payment. This is for the MSB building itself. And I'm led to believe that that's based on what you just talked about, that there should be a significant reduction on the maintenance part of that lease. This would not affect the other debt service payment for the parking garage, but for the building itself, there should be. I don't know any numbers yet, but I anticipate that there will be
That's
probably
helpful.
significant.
I think my recollection is, I think we pay admin, it's north of $1 million a year to clean the building, $1.2 million or $1.3 million or something like that. So hopefully we can find some additional savings there for the budget.
We'll report that back out when that happens.
Yeah, Secretary Ludeman, I was just going to say, as soon as you know, let us all know. And I do think asking them about past costs, I think is really important. So Senator Bach, thank you for bringing that up. All right, I don't see anybody else on this one. So we will go, Senator Benson, you had some other question on something.
Yes, Mr. Chair, is it your birthday today?
Oh, it is.
I'm not going to see you today, so I wanted to wish you happy birthday on our first day.
All right, so hold that thought. I got a question from one of our media friends that I just want you, or said happy birthday. So I just want you all to know that 6 weeks ago, that was me on the water. It's, so I'm 61 now, but I tell everybody, because, the older you get, the more you want to just say you can still be everything you want to be. But
were you water skiing, Mr. Chairman? I couldn't see it.
Yeah, no, maybe it didn't show up, but I took my son skiing, and he said, okay, old man, your turn. Well, when you say that, you got to do something. So I was able to slalom at 60, almost 61. And that's just a blessing from God. Our health is so valuable, as we all know, but it was fun. So I thank you for thinking about that. We have being part of the Senate is, it's been one of my greatest honors. None of us know how long we're going to be here, what role we're going to have. The elections are crazy. But I just want all of you to know it's just such an honor to be part of this group called the Minnesota Senate. And we'll see what it looks like after November 3rd, but it's an honor. So with all of that, just want to make sure I didn't have any more wise comments about my birthday. So we're done. So the Committee on Rules and Administration is now adjourned, and back to the other thing we're all doing. So take care.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We are adjourned.